Welcome back to Goldman Mode, the series where I can only make money from items I bought on the Grand Exchange, and in this episode, we're going to lock in and get to a 10 mil cash stack. We started this account from absolute scratch and have used some awesome moneymakers so far to get us to a 5 mil cash stack, and lock in for this one because the profit is going to be insane. Welcome back everyone. In the last episode, we smashed our way to a 5 mil cash stack, primarily using the clockwork bench in the player-owned house to make clockworks, and those clockworks actually did end up making us a lot of money. I think they made us like 1 mil, 2 mil, can't even remember, but they were a really good moneymaker. We've also been making Ranar potions unfinished, which has made us a decent amount of money as well. On top of that as well, we've really been starting to hit our stride with the flips. We've mostly been focusing on tax-free flips so far, which actually do have decent margins for small cash stacks. But in this episode, we're going to get more aggressive with it and try to chase some higher ROIs, as we're now sitting at a 5 mil stack. And what better way to start this episode than go right into the flips? So let's go ahead and list some items and make some money. First items we're going to list are birdhouses. I'm going to do the magic birdhouse and the hue birdhouse for sure. Birdhouses are high ROI items. The buy limit is a little bit smaller on 250, but keeping in mind that if we do these overnight, it shouldn't really be a problem and we can get multiple limits. These are also tend to be pretty safe as well, and this is where I would go first with a 5 mil cash stack if you wanted to focus on high ROI. Alright, I have my spread of overnights listed. I tried to get all my money in there, but we're a little bit short because we don't have this Grand Exchange slot, as we're still selling a lot of the apple mush from last episode. Insane item, by the way. This series is probably going to ruin the moneymaker, but it has been really good to me so far, so God bless Sarah Doman for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and leave these in the Grand Exchange overnight. Before I log off, I'm making a quick adjustment to our overnight flips. You'll notice I listed 50 Armadillo pages, and the reason for that is I just came across these. They're currently selling for 55 GP each, which is insane, and they're currently spiking up on the day to like 3k each. So if we're able to buy like 3, 4, even 5 buy limits of these Armadillo pages over the next 24 hours, I really think we're going to be able to sell them at the 3k mark. Like, look at all of these spikes to 3k, 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 and this is only past the past week, so I really think this is a better flip long term than some of these other ones, and that's why I swapped it out. It is the next morning. We've had a lot of good buy activity overnight. All of the birdhouses worked out for us besides the magic birdhouses, so we'll just abort that. And we did end up selling more of this apple mush overnight. This is taking forever. I mean, it's taken multiple days to sell, but it is so profitable that we're going to continue doing it. Anyway, a lot of these margins are looking really good. The U birdhouses are selling for 1,600 right now, and the toad legs are selling for 1,500, but that's likely a fluke, although we're going to try and capitalize on it as soon as we can. Alright, another round of flipping has processed. The only item which we haven't sold back yet is the toad legs, which are still buying, and we'll list those back on the exchange right now. Besides that, a lot of profit to go around. We're going to go ahead and collect everything and get some sell offers up. I'm also going to leave these Armadillo pages here for now, sell the rest of the fish chunks for actually about 10 GP less, so we'll be making a little bit less for the rest of the fish chunks, but not a big deal. We made a lot of money on those, and we're still in the profit. Also, the toad legs, going to abort that for now as well, and sell back what we have. Everything has sold. Let's collect that. That is a 7.8 mil cash stack. Flipping is now becoming so powerful. Our cash stack is growing exponentially. I'm taking a vacation, so I need to find some really nice flips that we can set for about a week and come back to some easy profit. There's 2 ways you can do this. One, you can list some really safe high volume items that don't move much in price. That's the easiest way to get easy profit. But for me, since I don't have a huge cash stack right now, only 7.8 mil, we're going to have to invest that into high ROI items that are a little bit low volume. The Armadillo page 3 and the Armadillo page 4 worked out really well for us earlier in the episodes, so we'll probably list a few of these just to flip them over the week, and that should be some easy high ROI profit. We'll see what else we can find as well to make some bank. Alright, I've picked an assortment of pretty much random items. I'm going to leave this for a week. We'll come back and try to sell everything. Guys, fingers crossed that this will work out. We're back on the account. It's been about a week and we've had some decent buying activity here. We bought all of the oak bird houses, which is awesome, and a bunch of the armadillo pages. So what I'm going to do now is turn around and sell everything back on the Grand Exchange. And honestly, I think we have a lot of high ROI flips right here. It's been a little bit over 24 hours, but guys, we are making insane profit right now. We're up about 5.7 mil from those flips alone. And you can see that the bird houses have been making us a bank. We made 2.4 mil on the oak bird houses, which is insane. A 172% ROI, buying them for around 705 GP each and selling them back for 1.9k. That is an insane flip for our cash stack. Closely followed up by some really good profit options as well. The maple birdhouses and the yew birdhouses, balanced out of course with the oak longbows, which have been doing really well. Although things are taking a little bit longer to sell than I would like, we're still making a good amount of money, so I'm not going to complain. I'm going to collect the flips that have not finished. 13 mil cash stack. That is way more than I thought we'd have, so that's awesome. But what I'm going to do is reinvest into some active money makers. I'm going to grind out some Renar potions unfinished for a while, and then I'm going to go and make some more apple mush that we can leave on the Grand Exchange. We're getting ready to make some Renar potions unfinished. I dumped pretty much my entire cash stack into this. We've got about 2,000 potions to make, so let's get started. I like this moneymaker because it allows us to bank stand at the same exact time, so if our flips continue to sell, we'll be able to see progress on that. And also, if you want to flip at the same exact time, that is available to you. Although we aren't doing it right now, we could definitely do it in the future when our cash stack is a little bit larger. I don't typically like to active flip with smaller cash stacks. I find it a bit tedious and your opportunities are a lot smaller compared to a larger cash stack. And the first batch of Renar potions unfinished is complete. We're going to sell these back on the exchange and rinse and repeat. I think we're going to do another set of them right now. I'm going to try and squeeze the margin a little bit to the upside. We're selling about 150 GP over for the Renar potions unfinished, so we'll let that sit. 10 minutes later, all of the Renar potions unfinished have sold. That is a 13.5 mil stack just from selling the Renar potions. Now, we've put about 12.9 mil in, so that is a 600k profit. We're going to do the same exact thing again. It's pretty awesome that it was worth waiting that extra time to get more money out of it, so we'll likely do the next thing after this batch as well, as I plan to log off after this. Just finished up another quantity. Let's go ahead and sell these back. All of the potions sold again. Now we are up to a 13 mil cash stack, but actually we're a little bit over that, 14 mil. Looks like right about a 14.5 mil cash stack. That is very good. I've already gone ahead and bought the cooking apples and the buckets. So what I'm going to do here is reload on some more apple mush, list that on the Grand Exchange to sell over the long term. That way we have some passive profit coming in, and then we'll set some more flips. Again, using one of my new favorite money makers here, the apple mush. I mean, just like last episode, this is just such an easy way to get a high ROI on your cash that you invest. Keep in mind that a cooking apple plus a bucket costs like 60 GP total, and you can sell these buckets for like up to 10k, so it's really good. It does take a long time, but it's something that you can just get a bunch of them, list them, and kind of forget about them. It's like flipping, but you put in the work up front. We've got 40 mush about to be listed on the exchange, but the first thing I'm going to do is actually buy one just to see where the actively traded price is. The reason I'm going to do this is because right now over on the price tracker, it looks like the last one that has sold for like 5.5k. I'm hoping, okay, so it still is 5.5k, which is a bit of a shame. So we're not going to make nearly as much as we did last time, but we'll still make a little bit of money here. So not really going to complain too much. In the meantime though, let's set some easy flips so we can make some more profit. Listed 4 separate items here. The oak bird houses, because those did so well. The Zolver scales as well, because that'll be an easier safe flip, as well as the oak planks. But I'm going for a bit riskier of a flip, the king worms. These are currently trading for 450 GP each and selling around 2k. Now, this is not a normal pattern for the king worms, so I'm trying to make a little bit of quick money on this flip. If it does crash down, it should crash to about 250 GP each, which means we'll lose about half our money in there, but it's less than a mil total, so like a 500k loss. I'm comfortable taking that risk at this point, as we're working with like a 14 mil cash stack. It is is the next day, the maple bird houses have finally completely sold off. In addition, the Zulrah scales, oak planks, and the kingworms have bought, although the Zulrah scales are going down in price, so this is going to be a very slight loss, unfortunately, on those. But for the oak planks and the kingworms, I think we are in a profitable range. We're going to sell the oak planks for about 457 GP, and it looks like that's going to give us a pretty small profit here of about 20k. The kingworms should be a little bit larger of a profit. These are going for 735 right now, and we're just going to sell them at this price to get them off. We lost a little bit of money on those Zulrah scales. That's a minus 180k loss, but we did make some profit from the oak planks at a 20k profit, so net about a 160k loss. Honestly, only 180k, not bad. We also finished selling the oak longbow U's. This ended up making us about a 133% ROI, 20 GP each on the profit standpoint. Honestly, a very, very good flip. We just flipped 500 super restores actively, and it ended up making us 65k for 500 flipped, 130 GP margin, 1% ROI. We're going to go back and list the exact same flip and just keep collecting that margin as long as we can. All right, a couple of our flips have gone through. The kingworms did end up selling, surprisingly made 522k on the kingworms, which is way more than I thought we'd make. So I'm thinking we might actually list a few more of those. We also have a ton of soul runes that are actually trading for a lower price right now, 39 GP each. But I do think these will swing back upwards, so we'll probably list them around 47 and hopefully sell all of those off. The last thing that I want to sell as well is the maple birdhouses. Right now they're selling for 4,950, which almost doesn't even seem real. So I'm going to go ahead and collect these and sell them for like 4,880. And hopefully we can sell at least a few of these off at that price. If we can, that's going to be a huge gain for our cash stack. You can start to see how powerful flipping has become with a little bit of GP in our inventory and just the high ROI flips that we can hit. Those Armadillo pages finished selling as well, and those took us a while. That took like a week and a half to sell everything off completely. But look at that, 476% ROI, made about 6k for every single Armadillo page that we flipped. So that is a 930k profit to the stack. Really not too bad. And we're building this account up with just the simplest Grand Exchange money makers. So I'm really happy where we are right now. We are getting such an insane margin on the maple birdhouses. We've made a 2.7 mil profit so far, 3.2k margin, which is crazy. I didn't realize how good the birdhouses are to flip. But on top of that as well, we've also sold some of the apple mush. Now, this is not selling for a crazy margin or anything like that, but remember, it basically cost us like 100 GP to make a bucket of this stuff. So the ROI potential is massive, and we're just waiting for this to sell off. In addition, though, I am going on some more work travel, going to be gone for about 5 days. So what I'm thinking of doing is setting another long-term flip, and the smoke runes might be something I invest a little bit more heavily into. You'll see recently there has been a huge sell-off in the past week on the smoke rune prices. And normally they trade for around like this 50 GP mark if we look at like the 6-month graph. So I really think we're going to head back up in that direction. I'm not really sure why these are crashing, so I'm going to double down a little bit on my position and maybe get another 100k of these smoke runes and try to set some more high ROI flips while I'm gone. All right, here are the high ROI flips for now, doing very similar stuff. Besides the granite, I've never flipped these. The buy limit is 100, and it looks like it could be a really good ROI, selling at like 1k each, and they might buy for 30, so don't know if it's going to work, but we'll let it sit. Also, I might log in while I'm away on mobile and try to sell some of these items back. So if I don't have a clip selling back these items, I'll be sure to talk about it when we get back from the trip. It has been about a week since we've last been on the account, and I'm actually surprised we didn't have a lot of action on the Grand Exchange, but we did sell the smoke runes, which was a 500k profit overall, which isn't too bad. Everything else that we listed, we kind of got overcut on, and we didn't buy a lot of it, but that's okay. I'm going to adjust all of my offers here, sell back what we have, and try to clean up our Grand Exchange. I love loading up the Grand Exchange to this satisfying site. We've sold most of the stuff here besides all of the granite. We also bought all of the king worms, which is awesome. These are currently only selling for about 380 each to like 400 GP, but it's still going to make us a decent profit, so I'm happy with it. We'll go ahead and collect our profit. That is 22 million GP in the stack right now, and we still have a bunch of the granite to sell, as well as a few more of the maple birdhouses, and to top it all off, the king worms as well, which we'll list for 395 GP. We're actually going to list a little bit higher. I'm going to modify this to 445, I think, and we'll see if it sells overnight. You'll notice that as my cash stack has gotten larger, I've done less active stuff in-game to make money, as my cash stack is starting to work for itself, and we're really making a good profit. It also looks like our days of the 3K maple birdhouse are probably over, so we're just going to sell the rest of these for a little bit under 2K. 1,925 should be within range here, and those should sell off here shortly. But of course, we're going to go ahead and list some more flips. Since we have 22 mil in the stack, I want to find another active moneymaker we can do. And since our crafting level is 38, I have the best thing in mind. We're going to craft some birdhouses, which we've done some flipping on, but we haven't actually crafted any yet. And the ROI actually looks really good. The willow birdhouses have an insane ROI right now, about 60% every time we craft one. So I think it's worth investing into and making a couple of these. How we create these is we use willow logs together with clockworks, and that will actually craft the birdhouse. One thing we do need to keep in mind here with this moneymaker though is that the volume for birdhouses is not that high. So anything we craft is going to take a little bit of time to sell, but I don't think it's a huge deal. We just need to find exactly around what price we can get these clockworks for. We're going to slow buy them for about 1,020 GP each. We're also going to do some active flips in the meantime, since I do want to make some money while we craft everything here. So we're going to flip 30,000 of these Zolver scales for, I think, a buy price of about 200 each. We can just easily turn around and sell that as well and start to make some easy profit. We're starting to make some now. I'll keep you updated on how much we've invested and how much we've made from this. It's not the fastest money maker, but it definitely is a solid way to get a high ROI on our cash stack. And this series has been all about high ROI money makers. Each willow log we bought was for about 50 GP each, and every clockwork we're buying is 1,020 GP. So that's 1,080 for every single ingredient for the birdhouse. The birdhouses are currently selling back for around 2.1 to 2.2K each, and that is a very safe estimate. Some prices are looking up to about 3K. So I'm going to safely say we're making about 1.1K each for every birdhouse we make. And on top of that, there is potentially more upside and more profit that we can make, but 1.1K for each birdhouse, and for 13 slots in the inventory, that's about 14K for every single inventory that we make. And yeah, you can make them pretty quick here, and this is a very high ROI moneymaker that I came across. If you do want to use this for your account, just keep in mind that different birdhouses will be profitable at different times. It just happens to be that willow birdhouses are the most profitable for me right now, and since I can craft them with a higher crafting level, yes, there will be other birdhouses available that have higher ROIs. I am curious though to see how these will sell, because when we flipped the birdhouses, they didn't flip super easily. They did take a day or two to actually buy and sell. So if we have 2,000 willow birdhouses, which is definitely not the most in-demand birdhouse, I wonder how long it's going to take, or if we're going to have to sell for a lower price, considering this is a low volume item. Just finished making all of the willow birdhouses. That is 2,000 birdhouses that we can go ahead and list on the Grand Exchange. We're going to sell these for, I think, let's see, 2,845 GP each should be about right. That is a 5.5 mil total coin stack we'll get back if we sell these. We spent 2.1 mil on the supplies in total, 2 mil flat for the clockworks, as well as about 96K for the willow logs, which means we'll make about a 3.3 mil profit if we do sell them for 2,845 GP each. But I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that. So for now, we're just going to assume a 3.3 mil profit, but we'll see how it turns out. We also just bought a bunch of these blood runes. I'm going to sell them back for 212 GP each. That's actually going to be a really good flip if that sells. Looking at about 300k on an active flip, which is quite nice. We did sell these Zolver scales too, which was a good profit of about 60k. And then finally the Ranar seeds, we made 98k on those, so pretty good. And just like that, all the blood runes sold. 300k profit, very, very good flip for us. I've got about 15 mil liquid that I'm going to move into some slower flips, some more passive flips. I have a whole series where I focus on passive flipping, which you can find on my channel. But for now, we're just going to do some really simple flips that have good margins. And the Mud Battle Staff is just one of those items that trades super consistently in about a 10k range that we'll be able to flip for consistent profit. My guess is we'll be able to buy about 200 of these for about 22.6k each and sell them back around 30k plus. So we'll invest 4.5 mil into that flip. I'm also going to go ahead and flip some Willow Birdhouses as well. We have a huge quantity to sell, but currently the Willow Birdhouses are buying for about 885 GP each, and that is just way too low of a price. The Clockwork is worth more than that, which is a component in building these things. So if we can get them at this price, I think it's a steal. The Proselyte chest plate and the legs are also two really good flips I like doing. They're super simple, trade consistently. The legs will be able to get like a 2k margin on those, and the chest plate about a 5k margin if we're lucky. So we'll just let those sit. This is an item I flip a ton on my other series, and I really like it. I sold out of the maple longbows as we weren't really buying any, and that was more of an active flip. What I'm going to list in its place is the Dragon Dagger. This is another item you can flip very easily, passively, and it actually does make a fair bit of money. You can make about 2.5 to 3k for every Dragon Dagger that you buy. And if you're looking for passive flips that you just put on the Grand Exchange and wait for some easy profit, these are very good items to do that. And as usual, we'll let this sit for a little bit. We only have 850k left right now, so we'll see how these flips work out over the next day. Checking back in on the account, the passive flips are going nicely, but what I'm more excited about is the Willow Birdhouses have completely sold off. That is such an amazing profit. We're going to turn around and sell some stuff back, and there we go. The flips are working out so nicely. The only thing that hasn't sold is the Initiate legs, but I did buy more King Worms at 230 GP, and they're currently selling for 360, so we're going to flip that really quick and just take away that profit. We'll collect the rest of what we have so far. 31 mil cash stack. Guys, we are getting so close to getting the full golden set. I think it's somewhere around 45 to 50 mil, but each piece I'm going to get, so I'm not going to skip out on any of the pieces and not just buy the set. All right, we've got the rest of our flips listed. We still have 12 mil in the inventory, so when I log in tomorrow, I might go ahead and, do some active methods to make some money. Might do more of the Ranar potions unfinished or more of the board houses. I have not decided yet, but for now, the flips are listed, all high ROI flips besides the smoke runes and the mithril arrow tips. Those aren't as high of an ROI, but I've got a good spread. I think I'm spreading my cash stack out, not too risky, but also not too safe, so we should be able to make some good gains. I'll be honest, I have not been on the account in a little bit over a week, but look at that. Everything has sold. We're going to collect our money here, 37 mil in our cash stack. And just like that, guys, I think we have enough to afford a gilded armor set. I just pulled up 07.gg. By the way, link in the description below for a discount, but it's currently saying that the set is going for about 35.3 mil and the boots are going for about 1.8. We're going to put an offer in overnight to see if we can buy these items and finish up the series. There they are, guys, both listed on the Grand Exchange. We'll leave this for a little bit. We'll check back up on it and see if we've completed this challenge. And there we have it. The gilded armor set and the boots have bought. Let's go ahead and collect those. The series is officially complete. From a brand new account, we went ahead and built up a bank enough to afford a gilded armor set with some gilded boots as well, and that is with No collection methods. Everything we did was through the Grand Exchange by trading or creating items bought off the exchange. I am really happy with how this series turned out, and as a thank you to all of you, I'm going to be selling back the Gilded set and be giving away bonds for this series, so be sure to drop a comment in the comment section below saying that you want to win the bond. As long as you leave a comment and you are in our Discord group, you will be eligible. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.